Someplace else, owner Jason Mulder invites you to stop by Bestway and get a quote on just about any size building. And whether you buy with Bestway or not, it's worth the trip just to meet Bestway Buddy. Say hello, buddy. Good boy. Bestway Portable Buildings, just north of Harts Marine on 231, and online at bestwayportablebuildings.com. The best in portable, period. Tell them Buddy sent ya.
Take control of your adventure and discover the new Kia at Bill Bird Kia. Our SUV family is built for all-in adventures and endless possibilities. Whether you're traveling on the highways or off-road, you'll do it with grace and grit. Now offering 1.9% APR for up to 48 months on the purchase of a new 2024 Kia Sorento or a new 2024 Kia Sportage. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. Bill Bird Kia is the home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillBirdKiaPanamaCity.com. The road is yours in an all-new Kia from Bill Bird Kia.
Offer from Kia Finance America for the purchase of a new 2024 Kia Sorento or 2024 Kia Sportage with $2,165 per 1,000 financed at 48 months. Quantities limited. No down payment required. Cannot be combined with other finance offers. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers must take delivery from dealer stock through 9/3/24.
Visit the newly remodeled Mid-South Lumber Hardware and Feed Store in Youngstown. They have a full line of plumbing, electrical, hardware, and tools for your DIY home projects, as well as lumber and animal feed. Now offering not only baby chicks and a full line of poultry supplies, but also bunnies and parakeets. They also carry a wide selection of Duplin wines and gourmet products so you don't have to drive to the beach. Come see us at Mid-South Lumber on Highway 231 in Youngstown.
Are you thinking of doing a fundraiser? Well, Krispy Kreme Donuts next to HCA Hospital, 23rd Street, Panama City, and on the Ross Clark Circle in Dothan says, let's raise some dough. Earn up to 50% profit with a Krispy Kreme fundraiser in-shop or online. So let's raise some dough. At Krispy Kreme Donuts next to HCA Hospital, 23rd Street, Panama City, and on the Ross Clark Circle in Dothan.
Signworks, a business serving businesses since 1985. Everything from signs and banners, vehicles and boats, magnetic and real estate signs, contractor signs, and much more. Signworks can do large format, full color printing too. Signworks, a real professional in the business world. Call Signworks at 785-8899. Signworks, 850-785-8899.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota, ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the next evolution of Sports Talk Radio. The biggest stories and the biggest reactions.
Now.
And now, we're taking...
With the first pick.
This is the last ball you got in the bag. The Inside Drive. From college to the pros. Interviews with the newsmakers, sports betting, your phone calls, and more. And now, The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios. On ESPN Northwest Florida.
That year they didn't want me, now hot they all on me. That year they didn't want me, now hot they all on me. That year they didn't want me.
Hump Day! You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. 104.3 in Panama City Beach, 101.9 in Port St. Joe along that beautiful Forgotten Coast. Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, like, comment, share, subscribe. What are the fun ones that I used to say? I can't even remember them. Subshare?
Subscare.
Subscare.
Or subscare.
Yeah.
Subscare
Well, we don't want to scare anybody away.
No.
I can do that. That's why we're on the radio.
That's
so
right.
You can see our face, but you got to get on social media to do that. So, but you are listening to the Inside Drive. You can also download that ESPN Northwest Florida free mobile app inside the
Google Play or Apple Store.
Just search up 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We did get one of those yesterday from Schmitty. It was just really loud when he hit it.
Yeah.
It was like, whoa, but he was.
You are correct. I don't ever want to be correct again.
It was very,
I don't even think we were correct. I think
it just hit it, yeah. If being correct is wrong, I don't want to be right.
You got that right. Let your soul glow.
That's it. Soul glow, baby.
Yes.
Soul glow, baby. You got any good poll questions today, Jay?
I mean, I've been thinking and thinking and
Actively
thinking.
pondering, some might say?
Pondering.
Good stuff.
Who's your favorite cousin? My cousin Vinny.
Oh, movies.
Just cousin Vinny, cousin Russell, or Kirk Cousins.
So, Cousin Russell, for those who don't know, that's Russell Henley.
Russell Henley, PGA Tour.
Cousin Vinny is a movie / it's also, a big-time Joe Pesci film.
Yep.
And we actually watched that in business law in college, which was fantastic.
Great.
I should have listened to my business law teacher a little more with some scenarios, but that's neither here nor there. So, a little cousin action this morning.
Yeah, just cousins.
Cousin Vinny, Cousin Russell, which is Russell Henley.
Yep.
And then Captain Kirk
Captain
Cousins.
Kirk Cousins. Which one are you?
I'm going with Cousin Vinny all day.
Absolutely.
I mean, I like Russell Henley, but I like Cousin Vinny. That's a fantastic movie,
Yeah.
Cousin Vinny.
Cousin Vinny.
That's tough to say. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But yeah, how many times have you seen that movie?
I can't, man, if probably, legitimately, probably about 500 times. I know that sounds crazy.
That's a lot.
It is a lot.
Because there's only 365 days in a year.
There
But
you
you
go.
have been on this planet Earth a little bit longer than I have. So.
I have.
Now, was watching Cousin Vinny like one of your first experiences into the full New York accent?
Yes. Yes, it was. It was.
Because Marissa Tomei was certainly embracing that full New York accent.
Right. And it was when I finally realized it's like, whoa, there are people in America that actually don't know what a grit is.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, I grew up on grits when I was 3 months old.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
a grit.
Yeah, a grit. And they didn't know what Waffle Houses were either.
When did you have your first grit?
The way my bank account is set up, that's what I've been eating for dinner.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Hey, I'm right there with you.
Carbo load, man. Grits.
Yeah.
My first grit. I got to imagine. My dad always knew about grits. He was from, he'd been kind of all over, so he had grits before, but we never really had them, and I didn't really understand what they were. It was more the oatmeal up there, a lot more cold and all that. But I think my first grit, I think it was when it was up there, because I think my dad had made them one time or something like that. And he's like, you got to try these. But see, he is weird, because he does the sugar in his grits. I do salt. And butter.
I've never heard of sugar grits.
You should try jelly in there.
Jelly in the grits. There you go. Jelly and jam. Is that the same thing, or is it different?
But not in the cheese grits. I don't know about jelly in the cheese grits, but in the just the regular old white grits, jelly. Oh boy, throw your sausage in there, some eggs too.
Sweet and oh, you forgot one of the cousins.
Where's another cousin?
Cousin Eddie.
Oh, there you go. We can't forget him.
Thank you, Rick Ty.
Yeah.
Appreciate you tuning in.
That's perfect, too, because we needed 4 options.
Yeah, you needed 4. I changed mine from Cousin Viz and Cousin Eddie.
Same here. I'm sorry. Got to.
No, absolutely. That's probably the biggest cousin out there. Yeah. The most famous cousin, anyway.
Right?
Cousin Eddie. Man, good times. Good times.
How about the Crystal Scramblers? You know, the bowl that's got the grits? I don't know if they still do it or not.
Scrambler. I got nothing.
Oh, man. So
this is coming from the restaurant, right?
Yeah,
Crystal's,
from Crystal's. But
way to just give them free plugs there.
Yeah.
Well.
They need it.
Yeah, right.
I've only been there once or twice, and that was too much for me. I feel like if you didn't grow up eating that, you have not developed the correct, insides to handle Crystal. That's my opinion anyway.
It's good. It's good lubricant. Good oil. Castrol.
Castrol. Yeah. That works too. Mm-hmm. That works too. All right. Good poll question, Jay. I'm proud of you this morning and getting us going.
Yes, sir.
Getting us going. But real quick, want to talk about the big game last night. We played a really, really good football team, and I was proud of our kids because it was a tough battle. We made some mistakes. We dropped some easy interceptions, but we never broke. We bent a bunch of times. We persevered. We fought. Those kids were leaving it all on the field last night, getting banged up, bruised up. But at the end of the day, they had a play to win the game on the final play of the game, and we stopped it.
Wow.
Oh yeah, it was intense.
All
it was
right.
intense. We kept letting them back in the game.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what it's all about. I'd rather play 100 games like that than play some of these games where it's just we're kind of unfortunately
Playing a half of football.
Yeah, playing a half of football and just not learning anything or getting any better. So, and shout out to Worm and the rest of the guys. That was a lot of fun out there yesterday, and I hope we get to play them again because that's just I could play those teams over and over and over again. It's just so much fun.
Final score?
13-12.
Oh, my goodness.
13-12. It was a barn burner. And I should have, and I completely agree with David Hayes on this one, I should have overruled Liam on a conversion choice, and I let him do it, and I wasn't thinking strategically enough, and because we went for 2 on our second conversion.
I'm like that. They're like, one.
He was like, go for 1, go for 1. Because if we get the 1, now they have to get a 2 to tie. Yeah. Luckily, we ended up winning by 1 because we actually had a sack on their conversion on their first touchdown, which led them, because they scored first. They went down the field, scored. We went down the field, scored, but got the 1-point conversion, and that ended up being the difference. So,
gotcha.
A lot of fun out there last night.
Yeah,
a lot of fun out there last night. So, shout out to all the Dynasty squad. Not everybody got as much action as usual, but that's the thing about Dynasty. All these kids understand, and they're all about it, and they support their teammates. It's fun to watch.
They'll catch up on the PT on Thursday.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. There you go. And then we roll right into the playoffs next week.
Ooh.
And then, of course, we roll right into school. 2 weeks for today for University Academy. I think the district starts that Monday.
The 12th.
The 12th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, UA going in a little bit early, but we also get out 3 or 4 days before the winter break. So
it seems a little late. I know Georgia schools are starting back August 1.
I saw where we used to live in South Carolina.
Where are you at? Across the pond, right? August 1.
August 1.
August 1st.
Or August 1st.
August 1. It's cool. I like it. Where we used to live in South Carolina, one of our friends, I saw some back to school pictures. I'm like, wait, it's July. What are they doing? Maybe that was like a preemptive thing. I don't know.
So August 1, that's next Wednesday.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we go back 2 weeks from today.
That's crazy.
It's right around the corner. But that means one thing, Jay Henley.
What's that?
2 things, actually.
High school football.
3 things, actually.
Oh, 4 things. You got a birthday coming up.
We're not talking about that.
Hey.
We're not talking about that. That's
5 things.
That's not on my radar. That is not on my radar. High school football, college football, NFL football.
Wow.
How many days until college football?
31?
Yeah.
Yes. All right, I want to hear the noise again. How many days until college football?
NFL?
NFL. Thank you.
46? No.
Lower it by a few.
43?
Yeah.
How many days until high school football?
Oh, let's go 21.
How many days until August 24th? 31.
Okay.
And that's high school football here in Bay County.
And I think a lot of the kickoff classics are going to be August 16th.
The week before, absolutely. Yeah. Week 1 opens with Arnold versus Bay at Gavlac. You got Bozeman versus Holmes County at Bozeman. And you've got Rutherford versus Mosley at Tommy Oliver. And then North Bay Haven versus Freeport at North Bay Haven. And big shout out to Josh Latch. He sent this schedule, and he just put a really nice football schedule together for Bay County. And good things coming out of that guy. He's doing wonderful stuff as our county AD. And I'm looking forward to continue working with Josh and all that stuff. So.
I agree, man. Every time that we've had the pleasure to be around him, just seems like a great guy to be around who really cares about the future of athletics here in Bay County, and that means a lot to me.
Well, and that's what you need. You need people that care and want stuff to get better, because if you don't have those people in those positions, nothing's going to change. It's kind of, how we live in that world right now.
It's like they say, if nothing changes, nothing changes.
That's it. And if you're doing the same thing over and over again, what's that called, Jay?
That is insanity.
Oh, I'm off, but hold on.
Well, I mean, if you're doing the same thing over and over and it's working, is that still called insanity?
Oh, that's interesting.
Taking us deep. I don't think so. I think it's got to not work for it to be insanity. Because then if it's working over and over again, whatever the scenario is, somebody's not adjusting to something. So
well, insanity is doing the same thing over and over, with expecting different results. So if you're getting the same results,
the true definition.
Yeah.
So if I took a nap at 9:30 this morning, instead of 10:30 or 10:15. Is that insane? Is that insane?
What the results? It's results driven.
Okay.
Routine.
It's not about the activity. It's not about the activity.
I got you.
Yeah.
Results.
No, if
It's expecting different results.
Yeah, like your test. Say you have a test and you're prepping for that test. If you prep the same way each time and you expect different results each time and you're not getting them, I guess that would be a loose version of insane. That's the first thing that came to mind. Anyway.
Like if you're waiting until the night before. Shout out to myself because that's how I used to.
You got a cram. I did better that way.
Exactly. I always did, but I think it's just the ADD mindset, right? Like the last thing that you put there is what you're going to get out. But if you're doing it that way, but you continually are getting C's and lower, and then you go into the next test and you're expecting to get an A or a B, but yet that's your habits, then that's insanity.
Yeah.
Welcome to the club if you're part of it, baby. Woohoo!
That's a good club. No doubt. We're going to talk a little Olympics in these first couple segments. Also talk a little NFL training camp action and some hot lists for the coaches. But little pre-Olympic scandal. Jay Henley.
Yes.
Little scandal action.
We missed another cousin, by the way. I know. Steve Wiley said cousin It from the Addams family.
That's true.
Yeah, we had to keep Kirk Cousins in there, right?
Captain Kirk.
Or I guess the odd man out would be Russell Henley, but we got to have him in there for the inside drive.
That's true.
Right.
We say cousin Russell here more than often. Why is it cousin Russell?
I don't know.
It just works.
That's the one of the main reasons why Alan Sanders won was because of Russell Henley, wasn't it? Or did he miss? No, he did well. Yeah,
he did well.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And I picked him.
I mean, you won.
Russell.
You won by like 30 strokes. So.
Well,
Alan won.
When I was teaching golf at Georgia in 07, Russell
Jackson won. Go ahead. Sorry.
Russell was a freshman at Georgia, and so everybody thought that we were brothers, and that was not the case because my D is, I've got a D.
Yeah.
I got the D. I got the D.
Russell's got no D, and you got a big old D right in the middle of your name.
A big old D right in the middle.
Hendley.
Like Wednesday.
Yeah. Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Absolutely. So that's where cousin Russell came. So that's good. That's good. It's a real story.
So he's not my brother. He's my cousin.
Yeah, cousin Russell with a different last name.
There you
he
go.
could be from the other side.
That's right.
It's just completely ironic.
The better side.
No. But anyway, who would have thought the first big story coming out of the Olympics, Jay, would have been a scandal? A drone spying scandal, nonetheless. During training sessions for the New Zealand women's soccer team on Monday, officials noted a drone flying overhead. Team staffers notified police, who then apprehended the operator. Later identified as a member of the wider Canadian women's football team, according to the statement.
What about the narrow Canadian football team?
Yeah, it's
I feel like they'd be a little bit better.
Yeah, they're too close-minded. New Zealand and Canada are both in Group A in the Olympic women's soccer tournament. Later in that day, the Canadian Olympic Committee acknowledged the operator was a non-accredited member of the Canadian soccer support team. While disavowing this person's actions, Canada has a Connor Stallions? ? Are we living a John Le Carre manuscript here? Everyone has apologized, and apparently drones are already a big issue at the games in France. What do you think there, Jay?
Cheating.
Is it cheating, though?
I don't know.
I mean, what are they looking at? Their set pieces, stuff like that. Could be.
Yeah.
How to defend it.
Is this is women's soccer, you said?
Mm-hmm. It is. Canada spying. But apparently it's just, from what Team Canada is saying, is kind of a rogue supporter of Canadian soccer who had the drone out flying it around.
I don't know what to say about that.
Was this at a Canadian or a New Zealand practice?
It was at a New Zealand practice with a Canadian drone flying overhead.
Yep, that's not good. That's not good.
It's the world we live in now. There's drones everywhere.
Can you hear audio through drones, or is it just visual? I don't know anything about drones.
You can hear audio through them.
So wow.
Yeah.
That's put one of those little Rodecaster microphones on it.
Yep, absolutely. And drones nowadays, I mean, they're everywhere because they're a lot more affordable and you can get your commercial pilot's license if you want it, but if you're just flying it as a hobby, you don't have to have one of those.
Right. I have a drone flying at your house right now, so small you can't even see it. I just keep tabs on Sailor because you don't let us see her anymore.
Yeah. Oh man,
that's my type of child support.
Micro drones flying around. So you can get somebody to hang that TV while you're up. Speaking of Connor Stallions and sign stealing, perfect little segue here. August 27th, Netflix will release part of the Untold documentary series on Connor Stallions and the Michigan Advanced Scouting scandal called Sign Stealer, coming up on August 27th. Now, is it all going to be true? I don't know. You never know with some of this stuff because anybody can put anything in there. However, there's going to be a documentary about it, and I'm here for it.
Yeah.
You watching
So many documentaries out right now. It's so hard to keep up.
I know.
Crazy.
I know. And then yet I still get on there and I'm like, oh, where's a new one? I haven't seen a new one. And like, oh, maybe this is. I
got so many that I got to go back and watch, man.
Yep, absolutely.
So many recommendations out that we get on a weekly basis. Like, oh, you got to watch this. You got to watch this. I'm like,
we did recently watch
things at a time for the short-term memory. 7 things at a time.
That's why they got to say you got to say somebody's name 7 times when you first meet them for it to pop into the brain.
See, people think I'm crazy when I do that, and I just repeat their name to them 7 times. But hey, I remember it in the long run.
That's it. You got to get it burned in the memory there. But yeah, I watched we watched the Simone Biles one, and we've also started the Serena Williams, In the Arena. Both fantastic. The Simone Biles one, my opinion is completely changed about Simone Biles. I really enjoyed that documentary. And
what was your opinion before?
I just didn't know the details of everything she was dealing with. It,
like
from
with the Nasser situation. And stuff,
not only the Nasser situation, but just like and I can kind of slightly relate. Like I used to be able to hit my driver really good, and now I can hit it good in scrambles, but mentally I'm just not there with it.
Yeah, you're always asking me for tips.
Yeah, so I'm always hitting 3-wood. But it's one of those things, I just kind of lost my edge with the driver many, many years ago, and I just don't play in practice enough to try to get it back. And that's basically what happened with her. She was competing at the highest level. Everybody had a target on her back, and then her brain just couldn't do it anymore. She was losing where she was in the air, and she couldn't recover. And I just thought she just kind of cracked under the pressure. But no, there's a lot more to it.
You're talking about when she dropped out
of the Olympics. Yeah. And she got crucified for it.
She did, and I remember. We would have to go back and listen to the shows, but I remember being like, well, if you're, because I think we had someone gymnastically related talking with us and saying, when you lose, when you kind of get the yips, if you will, it's really tough. And I was like, well, maybe she's doing this for the betterment of the team at that point, because you're right, there's a lot of people like, why would you let your team down? Like, that's so selfish or whatever. And in fact, she wasn't being selfish, she was being a good teammate there.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I was even one of those like, how could you drop out of the Olympics? You're the best in the world, and then you find out everything going on, and it's a whole nother ballgame. But I'm excited because she's back in this Olympics, and she's ready for. And she's 27, 28 years old, which for Olympics,
that's old.
That's old. Yeah. I mean, the heyday, and it was
like Jay.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, almost. Yeah. It's like 14, 15, 16 years old, and they talk a little bit about the Bella Caroli and all that, the camp. When they would take them to the Bella Caroli facility and just how they were. Oh man, it's brutal. It's brutal. Their child. Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one. I mean, there's a lot of good ones, but we really enjoyed this one, that's for sure. So, but that one's out there, and of course, you got this Connor Stallions Sign Stealer coming out on the 27th. There's a few more coming out as well, but here we are getting ready for football season.
Watching gymnastics.
Get you fired up for sports, man. Get you fired up for sports. When we get back, we're going to talk a little bit about NFL training camp and also some of the coaches on the hot seat. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida.
America's team plays here.
And a rocket to right field. This thing is into orbit.
The Atlanta Braves on ESPN Northwest Florida. Acuna, Ozzie, and Austin Riley lead the Braves' high-powered offense.
Swung on, belted, deep right field. Get out of here, Ozzie. Home run. Ball game.
The Atlanta Braves on ESPN Northwest Florida is sponsored by Brock's Pest Control. Store more portable buildings, reliable hydraulic solutions. Bill Bird Kia and Mid-South Lumber.
Good morning. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. For this afternoon and evening, definite thunderstorms and light rain and a high of 86 with wind 10 to 15 miles per hour out of the south-southwest. Likely thunderstorms and light showers tonight and warm near 79. A likelihood of thunderstorms and light rain and 88 tomorrow. 88 and a variety of some sun and a chance of thunderstorms Friday. This is your Wednesday's weather sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Attention homeowners, are you dreaming of a backyard oasis? Look no further than S&R Fencing, your go-to destination for quality outdoor transformations. At S&R, they specialize in crafting custom fences, decks, retainer walls, and all exterior construction that not only enhances the beauty of your home, but also stands the test of time. Their experienced team takes pride in delivering top-notch craftsmanship with a personal touch. S&R Fencing, locally owned, licensed, and insured, and a member of the BBB.
ESPN Northwest Florida is thrilled to introduce the newest members of the Panama City Beach Chamber to our vibrant business community.
Welcome to the Beach Chamber, All-In Credit Union, Captain Max's Bar and Grill, I Can Do All Things Pest Control, Nations Real Estate, Panhandle Pet Waste Removal, Patches Pub and Grill, Sea Patriot Dolphin Encounter Jet Boat, Stroll, Be Local.
We're here to support your success and help you connect with our community.
Congratulations from ESPN Northwest Florida.
And the Panama City Beach Chamber of Commerce.
And now the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey.
We're going to have a talk. Tell me what you know. You're out!
Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios.
It's a frantic noise.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Rumor has it that this song is just on repeat in Jay's apartment when you walk in. It's never not playing. Is that true?
There's some facts to that.
There is?
Yeah.
Partial facts or full facts?
Full facts.
There you go.
It's also the doorbell when you ring the doorbell.
That would be fantastic in all seriousness. Like, wow. Just walk out with your robe on. There you go. Your big pink fluffy slippers.
Perfect. I've got this envisioned right now.
I mean, you live it.
Yeah.
So you don't even have to envision it. It's just your daily.
Well, I can't see myself, so.
I mean, you can if you have a mirror. Hopefully you have a mirror.
He's got pink and blue slippers, and sometimes he just walks into the hospital where the new babies are being born. He's like, oh, you got a girl, pink slippers.
He's always ready, always ready. But you are listening to The Inside Drive. We are live on ESPN Northwest Florida. You had said we had a listener question there, Mr. Hayes.
Yes, we do. From Terry Lamb. Question for discussion. If you know your NFL team is going to have a horrible season, do you root for them to win or lose?
Ooh.
The Vikings are going to be terrible this year. Don't see them winning more than 5 games. Thoughts?
Ooh. Jay, you're the king of divorcing bad teams, so.
And I ride with my bad team.
Yeah, I'll let you. And I think the question kind of saying, like, do you want your team to have a bad season but not get a really high draft pick?
Yeah.
Or do you want to have a bad season and kind of push it further so you get a really high draft pick?
I would say tank the season and go for a high draft pick in 25, 26.
You know, I don't know if the draft class is quite as good in 25 as it has been, but I'm just gonna say, like, you know, even when the Niners, because they went through some really, really tough times, and, you know, I'm always going to root for my team to win, because at the end of the day, I'd rather see my team compete the best they can than try to, you know, tank for draft picks. And technically tanking is also illegal as well. But, you know, you can tank without tanking.
Right.
But, I mean, I'm sure there's some people on the flip side, too, that would be like, well, if I know my, like, you know, if you're a Carolina Panthers fan, right, that's probably a good example. You know, last year was a little different because of that number 1 pick situation and all that, with the Bears having it from the Carolina Panthers. And that's right? That was
the Bears got it from the Panthers.
Just making sure my memory serves me right. But, you know, if you're a team that's, you know, you've got no shot, it's just hard. You play sports to win, right? And compete. So that's a tough one. It's a good discussion, though.
You play to win the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, my thoughts is, don't be that fan that says, okay, if we get this guy here as quarterback or wide receiver, we're going from worst to first, or whatever it may be, right? I mean, I think Atlanta fans, I may be saying it, but I think, like, they're thinking that Kirk Cousins is going to be the end-all, be-all of the Atlanta franchise, and it's just not the case.
Well, they've got weapons, though. You know, they've got Bijan, they've got Kyle Pitts, they've got Drake London, they've got good offensive weapons, but the problem in the last couple of seasons, in my opinion, is they didn't have a consistently good quarterback to get them the ball, because they've had a decent defense, and I think that's why they're favored to win the division this year.
Yeah.
But, hey, Captain Kirk could go down with another injury, and they've got their first-round draft pick in the mix. And that's where there was a little more criticism as well. You spend all this money on Kurt, and then you draft very high. But at the same time, look where Jordan Love is now with the Packers. And I can't believe a guy that's 9-9 is about to get probably the highest quarterback contract in the league.
You go back to Deshaun Watson with the Cleveland Browns. Didn't play in 2 years. Had a career record as a starter as like 26-25. Or maybe it was 25-31, and you're going to throw the bag at him, and look what it's gotten you. My thing with Jordan Love, holding out on this contract, and it, if you're the Packers, it does make sense to pay the guy because you're going to save money in the long run. However, to sit there and be like, hey, look, he finally had a good season. And now, all right, yeah, this is the guy. This is the future of the
Cowboys
Green Bay
in the
Packers.
Playoffs.
I mean, and
it's just good.
Something to be said about it. I know you gotta take your your ribs when you can get them. But yeah, for the Vikings or being the fan, Titans right here, right now.
Yeah, you live it.
I'm rooting for them to win. Like, I don't, do I think that they're going to win? Do I think they're going to win the division? No, I don't think so. But still, I don't care if we're 2-13. I want us to go 4-13.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to see us win every single game that we're in. Because you cannot rely on draft picks. That's the Bears for the first time are actually putting something around their quarterback and Caleb Williams. It's not guaranteed to pan out for you, especially let's look at the track record of the Bears quarterback. It's not guaranteed to work out. So don't play with them draft picks like they are concrete or anything.
Because they're not. Because you don't know what you're going to get out of them. I mean, look what happened with Justin Fields and the Bears, right?
Exactly.
He's a great quarterback. He's going to say, and here he is, he's not even on the team anymore. So, one of those things, not all of us can divorce our team and then go to another team and then watch the team
lawyers.
You divorced. Yeah, absolutely. Good mediation. And then watch the team that you divorced about to be better than the team you just went to. So, wait for that.
Who's the common denominator?
Yeah. Boom. Please don't ever root for the San Francisco 49ers. Please.
Yeah, no kidding.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. I think the Falcons could have a better season than the Bills this year.
You can come over to the Titans. You ain't going to hurt us no more.
There you go. And you already love the baby blue, so.
No, that's true.
I mean,
there you go.
It's pretty much.
Let's make the switch.
It's the direction you should have went. That's
Come on,
for
Cousin
sure.
Russell.
Cousin Russell.
And why should I, David Hayes? Give me 3 reasons why I should be a Tennessee Titans fan.
Because you can't come over to the fandom and make us any worse than what we already are.
There's number 1.
That's up there.
Baby blue, right?
That's a close second.
Very close second. And then third, I think you fit in a lot better with the people from Nashville than what you do in Buffalo.
I would wholeheartedly agree to that.
I'd never seen you jump through no tables neither.
Yeah.
That's true.
You do like to pick the guitar and sing a little country music, so you fit in a lot more with Nashville than you do with the Buffalo crazies up there, the Bills Mafia.
True. Yeah.
I
think they would like me in Buffalo.
I mean, I think they would like you in any 50 states, brother. Like to keep it real with you. I think that anyone would like you.
You're pretty easy going, pretty easy to get along with.
Try to be.
But I think the people in Nashville would like you more. Especially, come on, man, Ralph Jackson, Jay Henley, get in a bar in Nashville and just start singing songwriting. Oh, boy.
You can throw some chairs off some roofs and just, become part of the culture.
Wallen Morgan, baby.
There you go. Yep. Wallen on a Waller. All right, real quick, some training camp attendance information. And not a ton of them, but, San Francisco 49ers, wide receiver Brandon Ayuk. Jay, did he report or did he not report?
Let's see.
I did say it yesterday.
Yes, you did, and he did report.
He did report.
Yeah.
And The Athletic lists him as the disgruntled pass catcher. He is reporting to camp. He was there yesterday despite his trade requests, although things seem still frosty. The fans are happy to have Ayuk. Isn't holding out after all. And then this is completely from The Athletic. After all, they could be Cowboys fans instead. And that's a segue into Cowboys wide receiver CeeDee Lamb. Has he reported to training camp or not, Jay?
I'm going to say he has not.
He has not. The star, whose contract negotiations become a major source of tension, is not reporting to camp. Understandable, Lamb is entering the final season of his rookie deal and has watched multiple wide receivers in his draft class earn major paydays this offseason. The sides are in contact about an extension, but nothing appears to be close to a resolution. What do you guys think about the CeeDee Lamb situation? We talked about fantasy football yesterday. Who was the ADP number 1 taken off the board in most fantasy leagues?
Oh, boy. Justin Jefferson?
No, it's the dang segue, Jay. It's who we're talking about.
Oh, CeeDee Lamb.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay.
You're getting there slowly but surely. So, I mean, what's this situation? And they got the Dak Prescott situation, which it looks like Dak and the team have kind of agreed to kind of go through this season before an extension. But he's gotten a big extension before. But you got to, do you have to extend CeeDee Lamb? You know, he obviously is putting his foot in the ground, not showing up to training camp. And
look, he's going to play a Willie Mays Hayes, and he's going to show up late to summer training. Training camp, yeah.
The official summer training works. Yeah, absolutely. What do you think, D. Hayes? I mean, do you think the Dallas is going to bend on this one and pay him big time money? Obviously, he is their number 1 by far on the Cowboys receiving corps.
I don't know if they bend and pay him before the season gets going. I wish this kind of stuff wouldn't happen, man. I feel like it's the agents getting into
it's 100% the agents, I think,
and saying, you know what, if you don't show up, you might get that paycheck a little bit quicker. But at the end of the day, man, the Cowboys are in a tough position because this is that make it or break it year. Like, not necessarily make it or break it for Dak.
For McCarthy, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm saying for the Cowboys and what they're going to do with Dak. Is Dak the future of the Cowboys, or is it time to move on? Because Dak's going to get another job elsewhere if he's not the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, provided he doesn't get some sort of career-ending injury.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, your quarterback's more important than your wide receiver, right?
Yeah, they say it's the most important position in football.
And I would trust those people who are saying that. So I don't know if a deal gets done for CeeDee Lamb. But the Cowboys also absolutely need him. And if you're the dadgum Cowboys, how many of these players who have held out have done you well when they come back? Once they get that bag, it's like, boom, I won. I did what I had to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't blame the players either now for like, you got a short shelf life. You got to try to squeeze as much out of that lemon to get as much lemonade as you possibly can. So I'm with that. I get it, but I don't think that is the best for the team. And I think that's why you see, that's why you see the teams who don't. How often are we sitting here talking about holdouts from the Kansas City Chiefs? How often are we sitting here talking about holdouts from the New England Patriots back in their heyday? There's a correlation there why those teams are winning the
team.
Exactly.
I think the Cowboys cheerleading game is a little too strong. I think.
Have you watched that documentary?
I haven't, but
it's a good one.
Maybe that's what they got to do is downsize their cheerleading, or not downsize, but perhaps
they only get paid like $18,000 a season, so I don't think that's impacting their bottom line, given they're the most valuable sports franchise in the world.
I got you.
But hey, if you do watch that documentary, you know what song's gonna be stuck in your head for the rest of your life?
What?
Thunderstruck.
Oh, yeah. It already is.
Yeah. There you go. So the Cowboys wide receiving core. Yeah. It's kind of catchy.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's not a thing they do because they want to be paid. It's a thing they do because of the prestige of being a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader. Anyway, besides CeeDee Lamb, Jay, here's some names. Let me know if you know any of them, all right? On the left wide receiver side, their number 1 right now is Jalen Tolbert. Have you heard of him?
I have not.
Ryan Flournoy.
Nope.
Number 3 on that side is David Durden. And then Tyron Billy Johnson. None of those are Ryan.
Heck of a name.
Yeah.
TBJ.
TBJ. On the right side, you've got Brandon Cooks. I'm assuming you've heard of Brandon Cooks.
Sorry.
Okay, so there you go. Kind of not a big time wide receiver, but kind of a possession receiver kind of guy that, he makes some plays for you. Jalen Brooks. Heard of him?
No.
Racy McMath. There's a great name, too.
That is a great name.
Cam Johnson, who's a rookie. And then you got, on the slot side, you got CeeDee Lamb, Kavontae Turpin. He's fast, but he's tiny. And then Jalen Cropper and Corey Crooms. That's your Dallas Cowboys. That's 12 wide receivers on your depth chart right now.
Cropper will creep into your house and steal your copper.
Or he'll walk past you and give you the old crop dust when you're not expecting it.
Cropper, you did it again.
Yep. I mean, if you got a name like that, you might as well embrace it. So, a lot of things to be figured out there for that Cowboys offense. And like David said, and I'm not picking on the Cowboys. I'm picking on the Cowboys because of the situation with CeeDee Lamb and the way the rest of their wide receiver room looks. I didn't even look at their running backs. Who they brought back Zeke.
They got Zeke.
I know that. Who's their number one? Because what's his face left, right? Pollard left, right?
Zeke's going to be the number one.
Pollard went to the Titans, right?
He's a Tennessee Titan. I rolled there. It's Deuce.
Oh, Deuce Vaughn. That's right. Deuce
Kansas
Vaughn
State.
from the K-State Wolfpack, right? No, not Wolfpack. Wildcats.
There we
Bingo,
go,
Jinx.
fellas.
You buy me a Coke.
There we go.
Couple other names. Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford, he has reported no major drama there. He wanted more guarantees on his current deal and was waiting to report until that issue was resolved. He doesn't have a new contract yet, but he is back at camp and all seems well. Another name on here, Jets linebacker Hassan Reddick. Very strange offseason with him. New York acquired him in April to be the centerpiece of the defense they hope will be Super Bowl worthy. As he seeks a new deal, he has not participated in a single offseason program, despite the Jets believing he would still show. The way forward is quite unclear, though Zach Rosenblatt suggested a compromise for this season seems reasonable. Maybe a 1 year kind of thing going on there.
I think that the Jets defense is so good already. To have Hassan Reddick be a part of that would be huge. I think that it's more imperative for Hassan Reddick to get there and get in the scheme of things, start creating that cohesion. If you're going to be the centerpiece, then you need to be there, man. This is an opportunity to win a Super Bowl. Get there with your team, man.
That's right.
Hey, we'll see how it plays out. It's just
game one, baby. I can't wait.
Jets 49ers?
Jets Niners, Monday Night Football, Levi's Stadium.
Oh, why did they put Aaron Rodgers back on Monday Night Football to start the season?
I wonder why.
Well, I know.
He better not run out with a... He's on away territory there, so that's gonna be a good one though. We'll really see where the Jets stand in that one, and obviously the Niners too. But that's gonna be fun. Yeah. Oh man, can't wait. Gotta wait. We're 43 days away, so 43, 44, 45, 46, 47 days away from the start for the San Francisco Niners and the New York Jets. Jay, do you know what
Week 1 is gonna be so tough to pick?
Yeah,
I was looking at that the other day. Like Survivor leagues are gonna be cut in half. I feel like on Week 1.
Ooh, Survivor leagues. Those are the best.
What is Survivor League?
I got one you can join in on.
Ooh, was I in it? I think I was in it last year.
With Johnny Yankee. Was it on Yahoo?
I can't remember. No, I think it was Keith. It was with Keith. And
gotcha.
It's a very complex spreadsheet. But anyway, I might be interested in that. So Survivor League, Jay, you can do it one of two ways. You can pick a winner each week, or you can pick a loser each week, and it's not against the spread. I mean, Survivor typically is picking winners, but
Keith does a winner and
he does a loser pool. So and it's not Keith; it's somebody he knows. So you got to pick a loser each week, and it's not against the spread. It's just straight up, and typically. A lot of them, you can only pick that team once. There's some that will let you pick it twice. But I remember last year's was crazy because, like, one of the weeks early on, a lot of people got eliminated. And then there was a few people left. And then you could buy back in, but you'd have to buy back in on what the split would be at that point.
Gotcha.
So. But anyway, real quick question before our break. What do you think the commission is of a typical average NFL agent? We were talking about it, how much is it the agent? How much is it of the player?
Percentage or
percentage? Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go. Caddies get 10% typically. Let's go 10%.
Nope, that's a little high. That would be 10% of a $150 million contract would be 15 milli. So that would be pretty sweet for an agent. But you got to think these agents have a lot of players in their repertoire.
Let's go sales tax, 7%.
3 to 4% is average, but some can earn as much to 5 to 10%, depending on who the player and the agent is. But that's why these agents, you get a $100 million contract, that's going to put, $3 to $10 million in your pocket.
Wow.
So, and all you're doing is negotiating. But it takes you a while to get there. There's always some money to be made. You guys listen to the Inside Drive. When we get back, we're going to talk a little bit about Olympic futures. If you want to get your bets in before it starts, we're going to let you know those odds and who the favorites are. You listen to the Inside Drive on ESPN Northwest Florida.
For 7 years, ESPN Northwest Florida has been your destination on the Panhandle for the Atlanta Braves.
He just blew the doors off that thing.
But our listeners are the real MVP.
Another dominating performance.
So this year, we're giving away more tickets to Truist Park than ever before. Keep listening to win family 4-packs to experience the Atlanta Braves. From ESPN Northwest Florida, PCB Hobby, Pepsi, Fairfield, Hampton Inn on Thomas, and Home 2 Suites.
Take control of your adventure and discover the new Kia at Bill Burr Kia. Our SUV family is built for all-in adventures and endless possibilities. Whether you're traveling on the highways or off-road, you'll do it with grace and grit. Now offering 1.9% APR for up to 48 months on the purchase of a new 2024 Kia Sorento or a new 2024 Kia Sportage. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. Bill Burr Kia is the home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillBirdKiaPanamaCity.com. The road is yours in an all-new Kia from Bill Bird Kia.
Offer from Kia Finance America for the purchase of a new 2024 Kia Sorento or 2024 Kia Sportage with $2,165 per 1,000 and 48 months. Quantities limited. No down payment required. Cannot be combined with other finance offers. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers must take delivery from dealer stock through 9/3/24.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
Live from the 19th hole.
I can't believe you're a professional golfer. I think you should be working at the snack bar.
It's the Inside Drive from the Bill Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studio.
The price is wrong.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. I didn't know if they were going to beep the B word there in that rejoiner, but they did. But we all know what he says if you've seen Happy Gilmore, a classic. Who knows when Happy Gilmore 2 is going to come out, but it'll be a fun one, that's for sure. All right, Jay, the Olympics starts technically tomorrow. Opening ceremonies get underway in 2 days. Let's have some fun and let's talk about some futures. If you want to dive into your Hard Rock app here in the state of Florida, which is going to be the only sports betting app until 2051. You got something there, David?
Did you see this report from Kyle Shanahan?
No.
About Belichick?
Oh, yes. Okay. I actually did. I didn't know if it was going to work into today, but I have it written. Niners offered Bill Belichick a spot on the coaching staff. Or I said Kyle Shanahan offered Bill Belichick a spot on their coaching staff, which he declined. But he's also running around with his 20-something and kind of enjoying life right now.
So fit in perfectly over there in California.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
What's your thoughts? Are you disappointed that he didn't take it?
No, I'm not at all.
No?
I'm not at all. We're good.
Okay.
We're good. We got our new defensive coordinator. We've got Staley came over to be helping out on everything. So as long as he stays on the defensive
side. Guys lose
side.
games in late fashion.
No.
Perfect with Kyle Shanahan.
We're not Chargers. Yeah, that's fair. Big games in late fashion.
Yeah.
Chargers just lost a lot of games in late fashion, including a big playoff drop there to the Jacksonville Jaguars. All right, Jay, which sport? Here we go. We got total medal counts, women's field hockey, track and field, women's surfing, men's boxing, women's soccer, pretty much all the sports that you can choose from here. Give me one.
Louis Piccoli said it, hang 10. Let's go surfing.
Women's surfing. All right, we're going a little out of the box to start this one off. Right now, you may not know these names, but...
What? What?
Women's surf.
Slater Kelly?
It didn't work the way I thought it was going to work here. How about we start with men's golf?
Okay.
You want to do that one?
Yeah.
All right, who do you think is currently a favorite to win the gold medal?
DeChambeau. Or American.
He has to be playing. I'm trying to see. It's got Victor Hovland is 22-1 to win a medal there. Tom Kim 28-1 out of South Korea. Alex Norwin 55-1 out of Sweden. Victor Hovland 22-1. Why are they not putting any Americans on here? And then Shubham Hunkar Sharma from Indian.
That was great. That was
the Indian names are a little easier to pronounce because
say that one more time.
Crushed that.
Shubham Hunkar Sharma from India is 400-1.
From Indian.
From 400-1. Should you want to place a bet on that one?
Heard he's the Steph Curry of surfing.
Indeed. Well, that was men's golf. I should have been more prepared with this article because what it does is it just drops all the way down to all the stuff. So let's go ahead and maybe we can pull it up on Hard Rock, Jay, and get some more accurate stuff here. All right, let's see how fast I can go. Oh, it defines it by Olympic sports, not Olympics in general. All right, Olympic soccer. Who do you got as the favorite to win the entire thing?
I'll say Mexico.
I don't know what to say to that.
You say C, sir.
C.
Ecuador.
See yourself out the door.
I'm pretty sure.
Ecuador, was that your guess number 2?
Guess number 2.
Ecuador?
Yeah.
Well, let's go to Ireland next then.
No, we might as well just go to like Iran or something like that.
The only reason I say that is the times I've flown into Mexico, that's all you see is soccer fields.
Yeah.
That's all you...
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah. They got to be good in the Olympics.
Yeah.
They're decent.
I wonder what the odds are, though, because I'm like, does Argentina get after it again?
But the thing with the Olympics on soccer, it's a little tricky because
23U.
Yeah, it's 23U, and there's a lot of
players.
big time players that just don't go. They're satisfying their a lot of their club teams and stuff won't let them go to the Olympics. But I need to look up something else here real quick, Jay, while we're talking about that. But let's see, because this is not what I wanted. Olympic odds. Actually, you know what? We'll pivot, Jay. We'll pivot. Who do you think is the most decorated Olympian of all time? This is actually fairly easy, and you should probably know it, but that's okay.
Decorated.
Male or female?
Male.
Carl Lewis.
Good guess. But
say.
Yes, right up there with the national anthems. Come on, you got this.
Swimming.
Think breaststroke.
Or just think all the strokes.
Oh, Michael Phelps.
Yeah. The breaststroke had no correlation.
No, it did, but I'm sure he won that one as well. Michael Phelps is the most decorated Olympian of all time with 28 medals, and 23 of those particular medals there are gold medals. He was also the first athlete to win 8 gold medals at a single Olympics. In second place for career medals is Soviet gymnast Larissa Latinina. That's a tough one. She's got 18 medals, and the next is Marty Borgen of Norway with 15 medals in cross-country skiing events. She is the most successful Winter Olympian, and here are some of the other ones. We got those 3 out of the way. He did win 3 silver and 2 bronze as well, Michael Phelps, that is. So your top is an American athlete, then your next is from the USSR at the time. Your next is from Norway. She won 15 total medals. And then you've got Nikolai Andrianov. That's what sport do you think that was for the USSR?
Oh.
Stick with ones we've already talked about.
Swimming?
Nope, stick with ones we've already talked about. Oh, we did talk about swimming. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Soccer?
No, gymnastics.
Oh, yep. Okay, I gotcha.
15 total medals there. And then you've got Norway, Olar Inar Bjorgendalen with biathlon cross-country skiing with 13 total medals. The next closest U.S. Olympian with a lot of medals is Jenny Thompson. She was a swimmer back in the day. She got 12 total, 8 gold medals, 12 total medals, which isn't pretty impressive. And then you got Ryan Lochte. Remember that name?
That sounds familiar.
They ended up doing, I think, like a reality series or something on him. But, yeah, he's got 12 total gold medals. He's got 12 total medals, 6 total. And then Dara Torres, you might remember that name, maybe not. A lot of USA right here. And then, of course, it does go down to Katie Ledecky, who is very decorated when it comes to, and she'll be swimming in this one. Carl Lewis, number 28 on that list. He had 9 total gold medals in track and field and 1 silver medal. So pretty impressive there from Carl. medal, that's for sure. But it just goes to show how dominant Michael Phelps was over everybody else. I mean, the next closest is 9 gold medals, and he's got 23 of them. So just an anomaly there. One of the best athletes of all time for sure. But yeah, so
if you played in the Olympics and you ended up with a gold medal and you brought it back to Panama City, where would you put it and what would you do with it?
Oh, good question. Good question. If I won a gold medal, and I'd have to have some kind of shrine for it or something like that, because that's just so hard to win. But well, what sport would it be in?
Golf.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I'd be as excited about that. Maybe
swim, or let's go. I don't know. Well,
give me something wild like fencing,
flag football. Flag football.
Win your gold medal.
Ooh, that's in the follow-up question. I'm gonna say I hate running. That's not fun. I'm gonna say beach volleyball.
Ah, there you go.
Beach volleyball. Yeah. What about you?
Co-ed beach volleyball.
Yeah, if they only had it.
I'd just be the coach for the women's team.
There you go. What about you?
My new favorite sport, pickleball.
Oh, they don't have it yet.
Oh.
They don't have it yet.
Well, tune in 2055.
I think it's going to be in next year's one, but not 100% on that one.
Cornhole?
Ooh, do you think cornhole will ever make it to an Olympic sport?
Definitely.
Yeah?
Yeah, like 20, 30 years, yeah.
But will they let you partake in beverages while you're playing it?
That was going to be my question.
No doping. Anti-doping. Yeah. Can't do it.
Got to have them loose fingers and just kind of let it roll off your fingers, you know.
Yeah.
You got to have that loose juice.
Loose juice.
Yeah.
That's right. The juice is loose.
The juice is loose.
No, not anymore, though. Not anymore. Oh, man. I wish this would, it doesn't list out all the, I'm so disappointed in this article because it does not list out all the teams and it doesn't list the favorites in each one either. It's just kind of an article talking about people. I'm so sad.
I would take my medal around to all of the elementary schools and have all the kids, like see it.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Whatever. Yeah. Be kind of cool.
I'd give mine a Goodwill.
Yeah, there you go. Pawn it.
Goodwill.
Pawn that Olympic medal. They're worth it. I mean, they're real solid gold.
Yeah.
Aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
And that's a lot of them, too. There's a lot of gold they're using to make that stuff. There's a little rumble outside.
A little bit of rumble. That's actually just my tummy.
I figured it is that time. It's about lunchtime. About lunchtime. Is there a sport in particular? I know you're not really excited about it. You're going out of town too next week. But is there a sport that you're really excited to?
Maybe I'm headed to Paris.
Yeah, maybe you are. Did you get some credentials there? No. The Seine River. You're gonna be swimming through it.
What are some other sports that I would want to play in? Ping pong would be amazing.
Table tennis, sir.
Can you please call it by its appropriate name?
Wow, man.
You're disrespecting
table tennis.
Disrespecting it there.
But then I know the Chinese would just absolutely destroy me.
Just watch Forrest Gump for a while.
Yeah.
You get good.
Yeah.
He was really good.
Yeah,
he practiced
rhythm.
He practiced a lot though.
They have some Olympic odds on Hard Rock.
They do. It was like the group. I just couldn't go fast enough with it. They've got like the group winners and stuff, but I didn't see an overall. Jay, this is a toss up. Mm-hmm. Who do you think has the best odds to win the most gold medals? This should be easy.
It's got to be America.
It is.
Okay.
At minus 550. Who's next?
Let's go China.
Correct.
Yes.
At plus 350. And then it drops off severely to plus 4,200 for Great Britain.
Oh, where's the ROC at?
The ROC.
Who was that?
Russia. The Russian Olympic Committee. They weren't allowed to compete underneath the Russian flag anymore, but hey.
Are they?
I think they might be back to Russia.
Okay, yeah. I don't see them on here, but was they competing in this one?
I think so, just because some of the Ukrainian stars I've heard are, they're going to be taking this a little bit more serious this year.
Gotcha. I got to look that up. Who has
as they should be.
The most total medal odds? It's the same thing.
Plus 350?
No. It's the same team.
Oh, America.
Minus 2,000 though.
Yikes.
So you'd have to bet like $1 million to win like 20,000. Or maybe like 100,000 to win 20,000. That's probably more accurate. Minus 2,000. Yeah, I think that's right. China, though, plus 1,300 if you're feeling froggy. Maybe China has a great Olympics over there in Paris. Great Britain at plus 6,000. And then, of course, your favorite country of Japan at plus 6,000 as well. So, there you go.
I actually meant to hit the correct sound.
Yeah, I like it. You got to give yourself the correct sound on that one. That's for sure. But no, I mean, not the gold medal question for you, but what sport would you go out of your way to try to watch in the Olympics? There's a lot of them.
Yeah. Oh, boy. I do like the shot put thing. Like, the shot put is interesting to me. I think there's a lot of technique involved in that.
And a lot of power.
A lot of large muscle action.
The legs feed the wolf.
Yeah, there you go. That's it. The dog wags the tail. The tail does not wag the dog.
The cat licks its paws.
The tegu lizard shouldn't be in a cage.
The kangaroo hangs out in the pouch.
Yeah. Joey.
The dolphins jump in the ocean. Yeah, I love this game. Did y'all see the
video? Humpback whale?
No, there was a video from, I forget who posted it, but it was over there in Okaloosa. There was a dolphin just doing flips, son. It was right there off the beach.
That's neat.
Crushing it.
Wow. That's cool. Now, there was a video, I don't know where it was. It wasn't around here, but it was a humpback whale came out of the water and hit a boat and sank it.
Shout out to the whales, the whole whale family, man.
That's it.
Free Willy. Are probably my sixth favorite aquatic animal.
Behind all 5 different whales?
No, the whales are up there, and then I probably would go with the sharks, number 2.
Okay.
So we have good battles right there.
That's fair.
Number 3, probably go with a good tasting fish. So give me a grouper.
Okay.
Give me the grouper family.
They did do an extension of the GAG grouper season. I believe it's September 1st through 15th. Don't quote me on that, but I believe I saw that come through.
Shout out FWC.
That's right, FWC.
I just felt like putting them 6 would be interesting to see what 4 or 5.
Yeah, off the top of your head.
I had no idea. Stingray's got to be up there, even though
you would think.
I like punching them suckers every now and again just to get some revenge for Steve.
I know. That was a very specific one, though.
Right.
Yeah.
Most of the ones around here are pretty safe.
He's probably dead now.
Probably.
Manta rays, though, they don't sting you, right?
No, and they're huge. Ooh. We were at the pier one time and fishing randomly, and there was a guy that hooked a big old manta ray, and we were there for probably an hour and a half, and still because they'll just bury themselves down into the sand, and you can't move them. I think he eventually got it in, but it was nuts. It was massive.
He got it all the way up the pier?
I don't think that. I think he got it at least to the pier, and somebody was able to, go down there. But yeah, it was
my goodness
forever.
That's crazy.
It took a long time, that's for sure.
Well, it's raining. It's pouring.
It is. The old man is snoring. We got to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll be joined by Keith Fleming. We're going to talk a little golf, a little fantasy football, and then maybe a little golf again. We'll be right back. You listen to the ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Colin Cowherd. Women's basketball has been sort of sending a message. Caitlin Clark is not quite ready. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. And the more I watch Caitlin Clark, the more I'm convinced women's basketball isn't ready. Caitlin Clark's more than ready.
The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Weekdays, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. For this afternoon and evening, definite thunderstorms and light rain and a high of 86 with wind 10 to 15 miles per hour out of the south-southwest. Likely thunderstorms and light showers tonight and warm near 79. A likelihood of thunderstorms and light rain and 88 tomorrow. 88 and a variety of some sun and a chance of thunderstorms Friday. This is your Wednesday's weather sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Are you tired of hearing 2 weeks when you call to get your boat worked on? Hey folks, it's Chris Kramer with Kramer Marine and Outdoor, and we'll get you in and back out on the water as quick as possible. We're a full-line Yamaha outboard dealer and Suzuki outboard dealer, and we have master-trained certified mechanics on site. So if it's just an annual service, electronics install, trolling motor install, or all the way up to a full repower, we can take care of you. So stop by and see us in the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd next to Bill Kramer GM, or call us at 850-851-0453.
WGSX Lynn Haven WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota.
And that's out of the ballpark.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
With over 65 years of combined experience, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to help you take your collection to the next level. They carry all the new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia, and supplies. New and vintage cards in Pokemon. They sell and trade cards and are always looking to buy. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards is open 7 days a week at 752 West 23rd Street, down from Academy Sports. It can always be reached at InstantReplaySportsCards.com.
And now, the afternoon delight debrief with the three degenerates from the Inside Drive. Live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios.
Afternoon delight.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Sky rockets in flight. Afternoon delight.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. 104.3 in Panama City Beach. 101.9 in Port St. Joe along the beautiful Forgotten Coast. You can also watch, listen, like, comment, subscribe, share, whatever you want to do. That's Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Just search up ESPN Northwest Florida. And of course, you can head over to our free mobile app inside the Google Play or Apple Store. That one, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. And if you want to, you can go to ESPNPC.com. And then, of course, follow the Inside Drive on TikTok. Also got to give a huge shout out, as we always do in the top of the hour. That's Bill Kramer, GM, and Kramer Marine and Outdoor. Jay, you're rocking that Kramer Marine and Outdoor shirt right now.
Yeah.
Looking good. Where are they located?
At the corner of 23rd and Frankfurt Avenue.
Or some may say at the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd Street.
Okay.
You can find the mecca of boat and car dealerships right there. Car dealerships, lots of new vehicles in stock. The 24s need to come out. Great incentives, great rates. Just go over there and check it out. Or if you want a 25, they're starting to roll in as well. Express service, regular service, tires at cost, everything right there at Bill Kramer GM. They'll make it easy and
take great care of you.
And then speaking of taking great care of you, as Smitty found out yesterday, that's Kramer Marine and Outdoor. They've got mobile service. They will come right to your dock, right to your house. They'll get you fixed up and back on the water. Tourist season's slowly going to wind down here as we get closer to school starting. So that means those waters are going to be even more open for you to get your fishing on, to get your leisure on, to get your Shell Island on. If you don't have a friend with a boat, you need to get your boat get yourself a boat, and you can get that right there at Kramer Marine and Outdoor. They sell Seabourn, Spider, Sundance, and Skeeter. You can check out all that new and used inventory at KramerMarineandOutdoor.com. You can give them a call at 850-851-0453. It's Wednesday. Here we go. We're getting closer to football season. 31 days to college football, 43 days to NFL football. It's Keith Fleming. Keith, how the heck are you? Keith.
Oh.
There he is.
Hey.
There he is.
Sorry,
No,
I couldn't hear anything.
That's all right.
So
Hopefully you can hear now.
I can.
Excellent. I was going through all my normal spiel anyway, so you didn't really miss anything. But Jay's in studio for the second straight week. Hey. But guess what? He's not going to be here next Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I thought you were going to say he's getting ready to leave.
No. He can't go anywhere right now. It's absolutely pouring outside.
I am all ears the next 40 minutes.
Yeah, you better be involved, too, as well. We're not going off. We're off script today, Jay.
Oh, we are
off script. We're going to talk to start a little recap of the Open Championship. I know we talked about it for a little bit on Monday. Try to save a little more for Wednesday when Keith comes on. But of course, big shout out to Alan/Ralph Jackson for winning the fourth major pool between the big four, as some might say. Each of us got a major this year, so it was pretty fun. But Keith, we've been talking Scotty Scheffler. He's the best. Is there maybe a little more discussion now that Xander's kind of come in and went from the best player not winning a major to winning 2 out of the 4 majors this year? Just winning 1 major is hard to do, let alone 2 in the same season.
I need to raise my hand for sure, because I'm somebody who has been just going on week after week of the greatness of Scotty Scheffler, and he is great. Don't get me wrong.
No doubt.
But if you're talking about the best golfer in the world right now at this moment,
Tiger Woods.
I think it's really hard. It's really hard to not say it's Xander Schauffele. Just let's start with this. He shot 65 in the final round of a major to win twice this year. In the history of the game, one guy has done that, and that was Jack Nicklaus, and he did it in 1967 and 1986. Nobody had ever done it twice in a year. So not only did he become only the second player to shoot 65 on Sunday and winning a major championship, he did it in the same year. He's the first player to win an Open and a PGA in 10 years together. He's only the third American to win both of those in the same year. Walter Hagen all the way back in 1924, and of course that GOAT man Tiger Woods, he did it twice in 2000 and 2006.
Of course.
And it's not just the wins. I mean, it's also funny how much, difference it makes, 2 months? Because when we were heading into the PGA, what do we always hear about Xander? He's great, but he can't win a major.
Yeah.
He's the best player
never
to not win a major. I argue that the gold medal is a really big deal, and I think it's going to continue to grow in its prestige because it's once every 4 years. You made a great point that it does, not allow – it's not the strongest of fields.
Yeah, it's a little watered down because you can only have
Americans.
4 per country, yeah.
But I think the pressure and stuff is as intense as it gets. You're playing for your country. I mean, we always talk about the Ryder Cup.
Yep.
And this is an individual deal. And just the fact that the first 2 winners, Justin Rose, Xander Schauffele, are big-time names, I still think that, that was fair. But this was also a guy that had already had 11 top 10s in majors for his career. He had played 28 of them heading into this year. He finished top 10 in all 4 majors this year. And to me, the big deal is just his consistency, which for so long you kind of scoffed at it, right? Because, he's really consistent, but he doesn't win enough because he has 7 wins heading into this season. Now he has 9 with the 2 majors. But, I mean, he played 17 events this year, 16 top 25s, 12 top 10s, 7 top 5s, the 2 wins in the majors. I mean, it's just remarkable stuff, and his game is so good. We always talk about Scheffler's game, and rightfully so. But, Jay, what's Scheffler's one big bugaboo?
Ooh, his bugaboo is putting. It's got to be.
You're darn right.
Yeah.
It's that flat stick. And Schauffele is the only player on the PGA Tour currently ranked in the top 40 in basically everything strokes gained, off the tee, approach, around the green, and putting. And his performance at Troon reflected that, 20th or better in all 4 of the stats for the weeks, punctuated by picking up more than 10 strokes with his approach plays. He ranked 2nd in the field in greens and regulation. He didn't have a 3-putt all week, and after nearly 20 years without having a champion go bogey-free in the final round, it's now happened 4 of the last 6, but Schauffele's was just, I don't think he gets enough credit for the win. I mean, let's be honest. Going into the turn, we were texting each other, boy, this is going to be a great finish. Look at all these names right there. And he just stepped on the throats. He
6
birdied
under.
4 6. The shot on 11, too, that was the hardest hole all week.
Yep.
And he hit his drive, 5 feet from being dead? And then hit it to a foot.
Only birdie that
really,
day, right?
Wasn't the only one. I wasn't sure if it was the only. I knew that there was very few birdies on that hole just in general. He is all of a sudden putting together just this unbelievable resume. Again, he's got all those PGA Tour wins. He's won a Tour championship. He's been on multiple U.S. national teams. He's won an Olympic gold medal. And, now he's got 2 majors, plus runner-up finishes at the Open and the Masters. And the big thing to me is it's his flat stick that is why I think if you're just asking right now who is the better player, it's Xander Schauffele, because his game doesn't have a weakness.
Yeah.
So where we were reminded, if you watch Scotty Scheffler 4-putt from 5 feet, Scheffler still has a real weakness to his game that unfortunately when his putting is the way it was most of the week at the Open, he has little chance to win. And the reason Xander is so consistent is the fact that he just doesn't have a weakness. Every part of his game, and we talked about this heading into the PGA, which is why I was very happy I had him, if you remember, was how much distance he's gained. And I mean, Xander was not one of the longer guys on tour 2-3 years ago. Now there's very few players that hit it further. I do real quick want to ask you guys something, because I do think Xander has earned the right of the best player in the world right now, right at this moment. But despite him winning 2 majors, I still think Scottie Scheffler should be PGA Tour Player of the Year. He's won 6 freaking times.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's pretty unprecedented. He's won a major. He's been in contention at basically every major championship, including one that he got arrested at. I would still lean Scheffler Player of the Year, and I would say Xander is now the best player in the game at this moment.
I think if he didn't win Sawgrass and it was just the Masters and 5 tour wins, or 5 tour wins, I would say I would give it to Xander. But because he won the Masters and the Players Championship plus the other tour wins, I'm good with that. Although winning 2 majors in a year is just so hard to do, that's pretty impressive as well. But it's the whole season, so I can lean towards Scotty on this one, but Xander's right there. But I think he's playing, like you said, playing the best golf in the world right now.
Yeah, I mean, do you guys think that he could be the next poster boy, if you will? I mean, I know, Bryson's kind of taken that role the last 4 to 6 months, I feel like, but do you feel like he's got that capability of being a role model for the PGA Tour? I don't think he does.
Well, I was going to say, I think he is so similar to Scheffler in so many ways. Yeah. And why, again, the PGA Tour needs somebody like Bryson DeChambeau is, without question, their best 2 players right now, unbelievable golfers. Like, I don't care what era you put them in. I don't care what field you put them in. These guys are going to win, and they're going to win a lot. But they're like white bread. They are just
terrible.
I mean, as plain can get. And it doesn't. They seem to be genuinely great people.
Yeah, of course.
But that's not exactly exciting, entertaining, and not going to lead to bringing in a new audience. The other thing we forgot to mention, and I'm sure you guys brought this up Monday, first time in over 41 years, 4 Americans won all 4 majors. It had happened 9 times before this year, but again, hadn't happened since 1983, which to me validates again my point that 15 majors is greater than 18, and if somebody got to say 10, 12 in the modern game, I think that's better than 15, because it just shows it's a global game now. There's so many better players, and that is why the Americans don't dominate the way they used to.
Interesting fun fact, it's just 3 Americans that swept the majors this year. That was a David Hayes fun fact correction back there. But hey,
Xander grew up in Japan.
3 young players in the game, right?
But he's
you
American,
would argue, like Scheffler, Xander, and DeChambeau are the 3 next guys. Like if we're betting right now on, out of all the players on tour to win the most majors in the next 10 years, it'd be pretty ballsy to pick anybody other than those 3, right?
Yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely. And, if I've got you can't change your last name. Maybe you can. I don't know. But if I'm trying to find a last name for golf, it's going to start with SCH. That is for sure. Because apparently that's the key this year to winning majors. And obviously DeChambeau has a little CH action in there as well.
Does.
So you got Scheffler,
People changing their names all over the country right now. It's like Madonna. They'll just start going by SCH and then figure it out from there.
Yeah, just make something up.
Even get a creek with those first 3 letters.
Yeah, absolutely. And you might be paddling upstream in that creek too as well. But
David Shays.
Do you think, we were so high on Scheffler, like, oh, he's going to be dominant, and then boom, it just doesn't come to a halt. But here we are now talking about Xander. Does that just kind of go to how difficult it is to win consistently on the PGA Tour? Because, no one's ever going to do what Tiger done. I'm perfectly fine with saying that will never happen. The major record for Jack will never be broken. But it's just we're Scheffler's dominating. Oh, he's going to have one of the best seasons ever on the PGA Tour. Who's going to stop him? And he has. And here we are now talking about Xander Schauffele, just proving how difficult it is to win on any tour, really, for that case. But I do think it may be a little the entertainment side, and like you said, at the end of the day, sports has to have entertainment value as well, because you, as a consumer of the sport, are not out there competing. You may be betting on it, but you're not out there competing and having that aspect of the sport. So there has to be entertainment value as well. And like you said, the Wonder Bread boys, Scheffler and Schauffele, may not be the most flashy, but now are we maybe I wish there would be more, like, animosity is probably not the right word, but you had Tiger and Phil, you had Jack and Arnie, and they competed, and some of the times they didn't like each other, and that was good for the sport. And now I think that's another point too that we don't really talk about, is you don't really have the rivalries anymore on tour. Is that fair to say?
Well, I would push back just that let's see these guys start mixing it up, because I think they've both reached a point where they know they're the two baddest MFers on the planet,
But are they bad MFers, though? That's the thing.
Yeah. No. But I'm just saying they need to be playing each other in final rounds, 4 tournaments, 4 majors, and that's really what makes a rival. Man, if we're being fair, Tiger-Phil was technically a rivalry, and Tiger beat his brains in for the first decade, and then, ironically, Phil beat his brains in, the second half. Now, there was injuries and everything that had, something to do with that, but still, like, it was never something where they were trading wins back and forth, but they were just consistently in final rounds together. And I don't know, you don't really see either Xander or Scotty, gabbing it up with the guys they're playing with on a regular basis. I think Scheffler's a little bit more. Xander, to me, kind of seems to have a little bit of that Tiger mystique, in just a sense that he's really zoned in and seems like he's just out there to kill it. And again, 65 on Sunday, twice, is absolutely outrageous on major championships on Sunday to win, because guys go low on Sunday in major championships all the time, right? Because there's no pressure. They're just trying to shoot as low of a score as they can. He was in the final group at the PGA with Bryson DeChambeau, one of the best 3-4 players in the world, chasing him, and I mean chasing him, and he didn't even, bat an eye. And then again, look at that leaderboard going into the back 9. There was like 10 guys all within 3 shots, and a lot of those were the best names in the game, and he just went, like an assassin, and just started rolling these birdies off. I do want to point out that the guys got the break of all breaks, and a little disappointing for golf fans like, us, that maybe the best conditions for golf the entire 4 days was for those guys on the back 9. It was really bad weather early, and then as the day went on, it was, you could tell it was scoreable late, because most of the best scores came in those final 4 or 5 groups.
Absolutely. Yeah, kind of a tale of the first 3 days were a certain way, and then the second half of the last day was, it definitely got a little more easy. Not easy, it's not the right word, because it's still very, very difficult.
It played easier, for sure. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah. Never is going to play easy, but certainly played easier, no doubt about that. But yeah, it's interesting times. Here we are. The major season has come to an end. We've got, 2 regular tournaments left, and then we jump right into the playoffs, and they'll get
gold medal too.
Yep, and they'll get a nice little break for the Olympic competition, and looking forward to watching that as well. But Keith, I know we got about 2 minutes left in this segment, and we're going to preview maybe not the 3M Open. If we have time, we can maybe talk a little bit about it. But I know we're going to talk about rookie wide receivers and their fantasy action coming up here shortly. But I want to ask you a question that I asked Jay, and we were talking about some of the guys holding out right now in training camp, and one of those names is CeeDee Lamb, who's in a lot of draft boards and a lot of the ADP is going number 1 wide receiver at a lot of of places.
Rightfully so.
And he's not reporting to minicamp, and he is not there yet, awaiting that big contract extension. And we went through this, and all the other names, out of the 12 total receivers on the Cowboys depth chart right now, you really only know a couple of them besides CeeDee Lamb. Brandon Cooks, he's been in the league for a while, kind of that possession receiver. And then, of course, you've got Turpin as well, the speedy little guy that returns.
I don't know about a course. Turpin's there, but he's not somebody exactly.
And then all the other names you've really never heard of. So how important is obviously him to get in that training camp? And will this affect fantasy at all if he just continues to kind of hold out and puts himself and his agent over the team?
I mean, this happens all the time. I'm not worried about it. If we get 3 weeks from now and they're, in the first, second preseason game and he's still not there and he still, has not reported, okay, I'm going to be worried, but I would still be recommending people, if it's a full-point PPR league, I'm smashing CeeDee Lamb as the number 1 pick every time right now. He is going to get peppered with targets. You just talked about it. I mean, Brandon Cooks is a really good receiver, but he is not a number 1 receiver at his age anymore. They're back to Zeke and Rico Dowdle as their running backs, and that's not a knock to either one of them, but not exactly going to be pounding the rock. And then Dak Prescott has historically the last few years thrown the ball a lot. Mike McCarthy likes to throw the ball a lot. I think it's all going to work out, and this is just they're battling for every dollar, and I'm not going to knock anybody as long, to your point, as he doesn't end up missing preseason games, regular season games, and start affecting the team. But I think the Cowboys are in for a tough season in general. Washington, in my opinion, is much better. I think Philly is going to be back. I think their offense is going to be a lot better this year, and their defense. You got all those young guys.
Sure. Hassan Riddick will sign. That'll be good too. But yeah, they're loaded on defense.
And people are going to laugh. I think the Giants might be sneaky good this year. They got a really easy schedule. I like the moves that they made on defense. The key is going to be Daniel Jones has got to be Daniel Jones from 2 years ago, not last year. But I think it's possible. I really like Malik Neighbors. Like, it would not shock me if the Giants end up winning, 6, 7, 8 games. That's not good for the Cowboys because they have a tough schedule just in general because of all the success they've had the last few years.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're on the line with Keith Fleming talking about Open Championship recap. When we get back, we're going to dive into some of the best wide receiver rookies that you need to take in your fantasy draft. You guys listen to the Inside Drive. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The afternoon underdogs.
It's the best, easiest martial arts for the average person on the street to learn, protect themselves.
Jiu-jitsu, to me, I would think is the most important. The most important self-defense martial arts. It teaches you self-discipline. You can choose to hurt somebody, you can choose not to hurt somebody. Depends on their level of stupidity and what they want to do.
4 to 6 weekdays. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Wednesday. A chance of thunderstorms and light rain the remainder of the day with a wind out of the south-southwest around 11 miles per hour and 87. Tonight, look for likely thunderstorms and moderate rain with a temperature near 80. Tomorrow, a high around 88 and a possibility of thunderstorms and moderate rain. This weather forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Hey there, folks. Looking for a place that feels like home right in the heart of Panama City? Well, look no further than Charlie Corm's place at their new location on 15th Street. Charlie Corm's is not just a place, it's an experience. Imagine cozy corners, friendly faces, and the aroma of delicious dishes that'll make your taste buds dance. From sunrise breakfast to late night bites, Charlie Corm's on 15th Street has it all. Charlie Corm's place on 15th Street is now offering exclusive weekday lunch specials. Visit Charlie Corm's place on 15th Street. Look for the giant mural.
From the beach to the bay to the backyard, It's the Inside Drive from the Bill Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studio.
I've got sand in my underpants.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And we are back. You listen to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We're joined by Keith Fleming on the line. We got the ESPN Northwest Florida Fantasy Football Draft coming up. It is filled, and we are ready to rock on August 25th right there at PCB Hobby, 6:30 p.m. Working on a few other things to get that going, but we are looking forward to that event. And rumor has it that Brian Haddad will be available for any purchase that you may want to make while you're there at PCB Hobby.
That is a rumor that I can confirm and will not deny.
The rumor has been debunked. That is fact. Not good for Keith Fleming, who is making the trip down to join the Champions
I'll
League.
distract Brittany for you.
There you go. An avid card collector himself, but PCB Hobby is growing big time, and we're looking forward to the draft there on Sunday night, Jay. You got to show up.
Is it Thursday night or
Sunday night?
Yeah, whatever day you want to be there, Jay.
Yeah, preferably Sunday the 25th at 6:30 p.m.
Okay, July 25th is Thursday. Okay, I was looking at the wrong month.
It's not tomorrow.
It's not tomorrow.
It's a month from tomorrow.
Okay.
Month from tomorrow,
Yeah,
Jay.
duly noted.
All right, but if you're going to want to win your fantasy draft or have a great fantasy draft, have a good shot of winning your fantasy league, rookie wide receivers are going to be a big part of it, and Keith Fleming's got all that good information for you, Jay. You probably never heard of any of these guys, but that's okay, because we went through some fantasy wide receivers yesterday trying to see if you can name a few in the top 20, and your first one, you shot outside the top 20 with Odell Beckham Jr., who is currently on the non-football injury list, I believe. Anyway, Keith, let's dive into it. Educate Jay and all of our listeners that want to hear what you got.
Well, I'm sure that if, you were following, because the NFL news is nonstop, but during the draft process leading up to it, this wide receiver class has got a ton of attention, and rightfully so. This is a really deep and loaded wide receiver class overall. And I do want to preface this by saying, overall, wide receivers have been doing better their rookie season than what they were in years past. I think that's a lot to do with NFL offenses are starting to look a lot more like college offenses. College offenses throw the ball so much more than they used to. But there's a difference between how good a wide receiver is and their value. And let's start there, because Marvin Harrison Jr. is kind of like a can't-miss prospect. Like, he reminds me of like a DeAndre Hopkins, AJ Green. These guys, they do everything really well. And he is going to excel at the next level. He's in a great situation on an Arizona team that I think is going to be, especially on offense, really good. If Kyler Murray stays healthy, obviously they had the emergence of Trey McBride at tight end. James Conner is the running back that everybody disrespects year after year, and all he does is go out there and have 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. The issue is Harrison is right now wide receiver number 10. I think that's too rich for Harrison. If you're somebody who is a big believer in him or their offense, by all means, go ahead, take him. But we're talking about in the area that guys like Puka, Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams, Chris Olave, even Drake London are going. And I just think that there's so much more certainty in those guys because of their volume, especially when you're looking at, like, right now, Devontae Adams, Garrett Wilson, Olave and London. They're, without a doubt, the number one wide receiver in their offense. For instance, like London has got the Cousins upgrade. Olave, people forget Carr was injured last year in his shoulder. So I actually think Carr is going to have kind of a bounce back year. It's going to be really good for Chris Olave. Devontae Adams got an upgrade at QB with Gardner Minshew. So, I just think it's too risky to take him there, especially when Jamar Chase had the greatest wide receiver season since Randy Moss all the way back in, I think 2003. So if you're going to, pick a wide receiver there, I like those other guys in that range. So I'm kind of passing on Harrison, but it doesn't mean I don't like taking these receivers, because from there is so much values in these guys.
Is Marvin Harrison Jr. number one right out the gate on Arizona's, in your opinion, number one wide receiver? Because they've got some other wide receivers as well. Or is it still kind of yet to be seen? Because, college doesn't always convert, but I think Marvin Harrison Jr. will.
No, he's going to be the number one wide receiver. The question is, will he be the number one target?
Yeah.
Because Trey McBride got peppered with targets the last 6-7 weeks of last season. And he has, more of a connection with Kyler Murray, having played with him. I also think that you're going to see defenses really zone in on Harrison Jr. because of his ability to make bigger plays than McBride can. I mean, he's going to get plenty of targets, and he could have a monster season. Again, it's just where his value is going. Now, if you're getting into like the wide receiver 12, 13 range, and for some reason he is not off the board, I would snap him up in a heartbeat. But what I've seen is his average ADP is wide receiver 10. From the best ball drafts I've seen, he's actually going closer to like wide receiver 7, 8. And again, it's just rookies. You're asking a lot. You've only had 2 wide receivers in the history of fantasy. Randy Moss and Jamar Chase finished top 5 at the position in fantasy. So it's not very likely, even in a more pass-happy NFL. Now, Malik Neighbors, who is the next wide receiver, his ADP right now is 25. He's been going a little bit earlier than that in the best ball drafts I'm doing, but this is the guy that I actually think ends up having the best numbers for fantasy out of this wide receiver class. The Giants, you talk about not having a lot of other options.
Yeah, no doubt.
We love Darius Slayton. He won us a bunch of money last year, right? Like, he was really friendly to us down the straight, but not exactly an elite wide receiver. I think Wan'Dale Robinson is kind of a sneaky guy in this offense when he's been healthy, which is the big issue because he's so small.
Tiny.
He's actually caught a lot of passes, been targeted a lot, but I just think Neighbors is going to get peppered. My favorite part so far of the Giants, what do they call it? Why am I blanking on it? The HBO documentary.
Hard Knocks.
Hard Knocks, thank you. He was, when they just divulged, goes, yeah, I asked Danny Dimes what he thought about Neighbors. He's in. It's like, no duh, he's in. Malik Neighbors is an absolute beast, like real stud. I said the Giants could be sneaky, win 7-8 games. I still think they're going to be down a lot. What do we talk about all the time? When teams are down, they're throwing. And their running back room is really Devin Singletary right now. So I don't see this being a team that they're going to be running it 30, 35 times a game. I think Malik Neighbors is an immense value. The other guy that is becoming a value, who originally I was...
Jay, are you paying attention?
Yes.
All the way
Which receiver was he just talking about?
Marvin Harrison.
He was, but it's not who he was just talking about.
Hard Knock Life.
Yeah, right.
It's a Hard Knock Life.
Malik Neighbors is who he was talking about. Now he's going to Roma Dunze.
I got you.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Who is the third receiver taken in this class. My co-host Joe Matz actually thinks he is the best wide receiver in this class. And again, I think this speaks of the talent at the top, that you could tell me any of those 3 wide receivers end up being the best out of this bunch, long term, and I can't really argue it. I could also see Xavier Worthy, with Patrick Mahomes end up being the best wide receiver. I am really high on Brian Thomas, who, went to Jacksonville, Keon Coleman. There's so many people, but Roma Dunze is right now the number 3 receiver. We all know that they're going to have the rookie quarterback, Caleb Williams. We know they went out and got Keenan Allen. We know DJ Moore got peppered with targets last year. And because of that, Adunze's value has flipped, where a month ago in best ball drafts and mock drafts that were going on, he was going way too high. Now his average draft position is in the 40 range. And this is, again, because people are just worried, well, how much is he going to see the field? Very fair question. But let's not forget Keenan Allen, very injury prone. The Bears are going to be running an offense that runs a lot of 3 receiver sets. I'm pretty sure Adunze is going to be on the field for 3 receiver sets. And I think there's a chance that, like what Joe was saying, this kid has just a chance to be an absolute stud. And so with his ADP falling so far among the wide receivers, I am scooping him up in a ton of best ball drafts because I just think his value's off. There's a ton of guys. Yeah, go ahead.
Just quickly, are you hesitant on some of these? Caleb Williams, obviously he won the Heisman 2 years ago. Great quarterback, great athlete, little quirky. Does that concern you more with it? I know he's the number one pick, but with a rookie wide receiver with a rookie quarterback versus a Neighbors or some of these other guys that do have more of a seasoned quarterback. Does that weigh into any of your decision when you're looking to take one of these rookies a little bit later in your draft?
I mean, normally the answer would be absolutely yes. I am somebody that thinks Caleb is the real deal. Alan has sent me so many, videos and game tapes of these throws that Caleb Williams makes, and it is outrageous. The Bears deserve a ton of credit for preparing an offensive unit as well as I can ever remember for a number one quarterback who has came in. They have done everything possible to set him up to succeed. They've strengthened the O-line. They got Keenan Allen. They got Cole Kmet. They signed DeAndre Swift. This team is set up to do well, and if Caleb Williams is the guy that I think he is, he's going to exceed immediately. And to be honest, I'm very high on Neighbors because of where his ADP is going. However, I would much rather have Caleb Williams throwing me the ball than Danny Dimes. And I'm actually somebody who has stayed a Daniel Jones truther because of his running ability as well. And again, we're talking fantasy value, which is where people get it confused. I'm not talking about he's like one of the top 10 QBs in the league.
Yes, this
so
is
from a
specific
fantasy
to
perspective,
fantasy.
he's good, but he's still not anywhere near the passer that Caleb Williams is. And it's the same deal where I'm very high on Jaden Daniels, very high on Jaden Daniels. He's going to run so much, and that's a cheat code. We see this every year that these running QBs, that Jalen Hurts, look at Anthony Richardson. He played 2 full games last year. He averaged 28 points per game in those games. When you have the ability to run and throw, and I'm talking about really run, you put up so many points. And also, Daniels was so good throwing down the field. He's another one where I'm very high on Terry McLaurin. I'm very high on Johan Dotson. I think those guys are being undervalued. But from there, it's just kind of pick your wide receiver because Xavier Worthy, I'm out on. I'm not saying I'm not taking him in some best ball drafts because it's kind of like with DFS, right? You want to have a little bit of everybody that has the potential to be explosive. Obviously, in the Patrick Mahomes offense, he is going to be the Tyreek Hill. He has that kind of speed, but I think it's going to be a deal where it helps so much of the other players on Kansas City because it's going to take attention away from opposing defenses, but I just don't see him having this monster season, at least not year one, and it also concerns me that he's already been nicked up twice, and we're not even to August yet. And that's the issue with these small receivers, and he is very, very small. So I'm looking at the guys that have an opportunity to get peppered with targets. You guys are well aware I love Ladd McConkey.
There it is. I was waiting to hear that name.
The truth. I think if you're talking about just an all-around very solid wide receiver, that's what Ladd McConkey is. He plays on the outside. He plays on the inside. They used him in motion last year. He was great after the catch, great catching it down the field. He's good in traffic, just everything you want. And then he's on a team that all their pass catchers are gone, all of them. Quentin Johnston was a bust last year. Now, I think that we'll see what happens this year, but he's competing with him and Josh Palmer for receptions because Mike Williams is gone. Keenan Allen's gone. Austin Eckler, who is a big part of that offense, he's gone. Gerald Everett is gone. All of their pass catchers that Herbert has just peppered with targets since he's been in the league, they're all gone. So Ladd has got an unbelievable opportunity. I am seeing his value move up, but I'm not scared to take him, even if he gets into the wide receiver late 20, early 30s. Right now, I think he's wide receiver 43.
Yeah.
Because I just think he's going to have such an opportunity. The other guys that I really do like are Keon Coleman and Brian Thomas. Now,
That's your team there, Jay Henley. Buffalo Bills.
Hit or miss. I can't guarantee I can't guarantee any of these guys are going to be good. I can't guarantee their opportunity.
That's a disclaimer that's already known.
Which is what scares me. Because y'all know, what do I talk about in the DFS all the time? I try to find out how many targets these guys get per game. What kind of impact are they going to get? How much are they going to get the ball? There's an opportunity for both Keon Coleman and Brian Thomas to get integrated immediately. You look in Jacksonville, Ridley's gone, Zay Jones is gone. That was a majority of their targets. I know Christian Kirk is still there, but Kirk is more of a slot. You know, he can't do the same things that Brian Thomas can do, and Trevor Lawrence can make every throw that you want a quarterback to make. So I think he has a wonderful opportunity. And then Keon Coleman in Buffalo, it's a very similar situation where Diggs is gone, Gabe Davis is gone. That was 70% of the red zone targets. And Keon Coleman is their biggest, most physical pass catcher. I know everybody's having Dalton Kincaid. They should be. But Kincaid isn't as big and as physical
And
as Keon Coleman.
he splits a lot of targets with Dawson Knox, too. I mean, and you saw that last year a little bit. I mean, I know Knox is, too, on the depth chart. And Keon Coleman's currently their number one wide receiver off the left side. So, I mean, he's definitely, like you said, being integrated right into that offense to make an immediate impact.
So, and then some darts that just, if you're looking for guys that I think could have an impact that are sort of not being talked about. The first one is A.D. Mitchell with the Colts. If you're a believer in Richardson, which I am, I believe in his talent. He can really throw the ball. Obviously, he's got to stay healthy. But A.D. Mitchell is going to be the wide receiver number 3 in 3 wide receiver sets, which they run a lot. We have seen from Alec Pierce, he just ain't that dude. I think A.D. Mitchell is. He played at Georgia. He did very well. He went to Texas. He played very well. I think that there's a good chance that that's going to be the offense that really takes off. Because just remember, this is a Shane Steichen who had the Eagles offense just humming with a very similar QB. And I think he is going to be the Devontae Smith in that offense. And that's a great opportunity for him. Xavier Legette is another guy with Carolina.
Yep.
Some have called him Ryan Debo Jr. because he does a lot of things that Debo Samuel does.
Absolutely.
He's not somebody that catches balls down the field, but if you get him the ball quickly, he's so big, so athletic. He can make real moves in space. He's great after the catch. And I'm somebody that I think that don't be shocked if Bryce Young looks a lot better this year than last year. I think Bryce is very similar to Trevor Lawrence. Well, that's fair. But I think very similar to Lawrence's first year in Jacksonville. It's just a mess. And that's not really on Bryce, right? He had a crappy O-line. He didn't have any targets. Now they brought in Deontay Johnson. They got Jonathan Brooks. I like the offensive scheme they're going to be running a lot better. And I like what they're doing with Legette. I think that the purpose is Deontay Johnson, get rid of the ball quick. Legette, get rid of the ball quick. And that's what they're going to do. I think you're going to see a big increase. And then the other two I really like are Jalen Polk with New England, where I love DeMario Douglas. I'm still taking him in a bunch of drafts. But if Drake May is the quarterback by week 7, week 8, I think there's a very good chance Jalen Polk could be a real breakout player. He's a very good wide receiver. And I do believe in Drake May's passing ability, arm talent. But the guy I love that very few people are targeting is Jermaine Burton with Cincy. We've seen what Tyler Boyd has done in this Cincy offense year after year after year, right? He's moving into that Tyler Boyd spot, and I think he is a more talented, prospect, athlete, whatever you want to say, than Tyler Boyd. And I think Burrow, it's going to be a revenge tour for Cincinnati this year. I love that they shored up the offensive line, which has been the real issue for Cincy. Don't forget, T. Higgins could still be traded. They've already decided he wouldn't do the franchise. They couldn't do an extension. So he's going to hit the market. Could they trade him? Could they end up, kind of moving away from him in the season, wanting to drive down his value? That stuff does happen. I think he's in a great opportunity. And then 2 other guys, just real quickly. Troy Franklin with Denver, but just because of the fact that he's with the quarterback that he had in college, Bo Nix.
Maybe.
I'm not a big Bo Nix fan, but I think that there's something there. And then the other guy is Macaulay Corley with the New York Jets. He is literally staying with Aaron Rodgers. So hopefully he's not just picking up conspiracy theories, but actually picking up the playbook and making a connection. So I like both of those guys as well. But this is a wide receiver class. You can take a lot of these guys and feel pretty good. I wish Purcell wasn't already a little banged up, or I would have mentioned him as well because I like his fit with the Niners too.
Absolutely.
You mentioned him.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, that's fair.
I mean, he's a non-football injury, though, so he might just have, like, the flu or something like that, too. But
That's fair.
yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. Training camp open. Brandon Ayuk is there. Keith, we appreciate your time. As always, look forward to talking a lot more fantasy football as we are ever so gently getting closer to college football and NFL season. Keith, have a great rest of your week, and we'll talk soon.
Absolutely. 3 of them open. Take young guys and make a bunch of birdies.
There
That's
you
all
go.
I'm gonna say.
There you go. Absolutely. Or just watch some Olympics and bet on that. You guys are listening to The Inside Drive. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida. We're taking the inside drive.
All right, we got to go a little bit. Who's after Alabama?
Auburn and Athens.
I'm going to go with what Liam picked for Auburn's schedule. I'm going to go with Auburn sneaking out a win in Athens. They're coming off a loss against Alabama. They let their guard down. They overlook Auburn. Boom.
Back-to-back losses.
Back-to-back losses. Hey, it's a new year.
Join Ryan Mulvey.
Thank you very little.
Middays 11 to 1 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Love a great deal? This is the big one. The Big One sales event is going on now, and you can get 3.99% APR plus 90 days until you make your first payment on Camry's new elevated design. Make every drive count and get 2.99% on the stylish Corolla. Rule every adventure and get 2.99% on a new RAV4. Or enjoy the power and get 1.99% on the tough Tundra. Come see us for the big one at Panama City Toyota.
Offer ends July 31st. Visit PanamaCityToyota.com for details.
Are you looking for a place to take a leak? Do you have a truck, tractor, or other hydraulic equipment leaking or not performing as it should? At Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, we can get you back to work. Do you have a busted or leaking hose, hydraulic cylinder or pump needing repair? If competitive pricing and a quick turnaround are what matter to your business, come see us at Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, or you can give us a call at 850-326-3000. Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, 6840 Highway 77 in Southport, the best place in town to take a leak.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios. He has over 10 items in the express lane. He pays with checks and he doesn't return his shopping carts.
You have ruined groceries for me.
Now back to Ryan Mulvey and the Inside Drive. ESPN Northwest Florida. Not sorry.
And we are back. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Speaking of fantasy football and coming in last place in your league, sometimes there's some punishments, and David Hayes has got a live update announcement of a punishment going on as we speak.
Yeah, he just got there at 10:30. We're talking about the Waffle House on 15th Street, right after Florida Avenue. We've got Felipe over there doing the Waffle House Challenge for the Auction League, and it's tough for us to actually get people to do that particular challenge. So with that being said, if you're traveling down 15th Street, you haven't thought of a place to go get some lunch, why don't you go heckle Felipe over there at Waffle House, or maybe encourage him on because he's got a lot of waffles to eat. So he's doing the Waffle House Challenge, 15th Street Waffle House, right after Florida Avenue over there, kind of by the Ford place. So go check it out, man, and heckle him for me.
There you go.
So one waffle, how does it work again, David?
Well, it's supposed to be, I don't know if he's doing 24 hours or not, but it's supposed to be 24 hours, and each waffle that you consume knocks an hour off of the time that you have to spend in Waffle House.
Gotcha.
You can eat 2 right off the get-go?
Probably.
And then take a little breather?
Yeah.
And then maybe eat 2 more in the second hour, and all of a sudden you've dropped it down to 20 hours, and you're like, huh, that's still a long time. Or do you just spitefully not eat a single waffle and just sit there for 24 hours?
Just take you an Ambien and
take a little schnoozy poo. Is he allowed to have his phone?
He's got it. He's messaging.
Okay, there you go. He's allowed to have his phone.
Hopefully he's got a hoodie on because they're always cold.
Always cold.
Yeah.
Always cold. It's part of the appeal of a Waffle House.
Right. Yeah.
You know, if you go, it's 95 degrees outside, but you still got to bring a hoodie to Waffle House.
The windows are frosted over always. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. That's what you expect anyway.
Right.
Always. You always expect that.
But then you got the grill that would seem like it would heat that up. It's weird. I don't know.
It's funny how those hoods work, though.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, you have to have a hood to legally have a restaurant being.
Gotcha.
So, something to be said for that. Yeah. But, man, it doesn't get any better.
I love cleaning them things. Psych.
I was going to say, were you a Waffle House chef? Because I'd be impressed.
But I've worked at a lot of restaurants. I've never worked at Waffle House, so no.
It's a tough one to get in. You got to be able to just fly.
Yeah.
Man, it's so good, though.
You got to be able to fight, too.
That's true. Got to get people out. It gets rowdy in the Waffle House.
I just like hearing the personal conversations of the waitresses, what they got going on in their lives and stuff like that.
How many Waffle Houses in Griffin?
Oh, boy.
Probably more than the red lights.
Probably. That's about right.
DGs and Waffle Houses?
Yep. The home.
Any names on the obituaries that you saw during that last segment? I know you were perusing that during Keith's.
It's like fantasy football or dead people I don't know.
Y'all are calling
I'll
me
take
out.
dead people I don't know for $500, Alex.
Or do you know them? Or know
of them?
Know of them.
I scrolled for quite some time, and
you could be paying attention to get yourself a little more leg up in the fantasy drafts as
Why
well.
do that?
I know that would be outside of your norm.
That'd be J-Light. That'd be insanity.
Yeah.
Let me do the same things I do, expecting the same results. But if I start adding in things that might make me do good, then my goodness gracious, that's insane.
That is.
Thank you, Ralph.
I done good. You done did good, Jay.
Yes,
you done
sir.
did good.
Yeah.
All right, we got another SEC team that we got to dive into. We didn't do one yesterday. So far, we've done Florida, Auburn, Oklahoma, Georgia. Today, we're going to go up to the Palmetto State of South Carolina, maybe pass by a cockaboose or two and hang out at Williams-Brice Stadium. 2001: A Space Odyssey may bring us in, but we got to dive into their schedule. South Carolina's kind of an interesting team coming up in the SEC this year. So we'll start it off. They open up the season with Old Dominion University. I've got to win. Jay, what do you got?
Go Cox.
There you go. USC. Go Cox. I've been to a lot of those games. Jay's got the dub. David got the dub against ODU from the Sun Belt Conference.
Yeah, I'll take South Carolina.
Although we do know a quarterback that's going to be going to ODU next year. Remember, we interviewed him at the QB Vision Elite Retreat.
We sure did.
I believe that's Ryan Huff out of Pensacola Catholic, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember that correctly. It could be, but one of the guys there is going to ODU, and I'm pretty sure it's Ryan Huff. Anyway, next, they jump right onto the road against a pretty decent opponent. They're traveling up there to Lexington to take on Wildcats' favorite team, and that's the Kentucky Wildcats. Jay, who do you got, South Carolina or Kentucky?
Let's go Kentucky Wildcats on this one.
All right.
Yeah, shout out Wildcat. Let him borrow my lighter yesterday, and he actually brought it back. So give me the Kentucky Wildcats just on that fact.
There you go. I'm going to go with the Gamecocks in this one. Early in the season, Gamecocks don't really come to fruition quite yet with losing some games. So they get the dub up there in Lexington. They're feeling good coming back home against the LSU Tigers. David, who is winning that game?
Give me LSU.
LSU in Columbus. Who's LSU's starting quarterback this year?
Garrett Nussmeier.
Garrett Nussmeier. Jay, your favorite?
Oh.
All right. David Hayes has got the loss for South Carolina to LSU. I'm going to say they're going to lose that one at home as well, dropping to 2-1 on the season. Jay, who do you got?
I've got the LSU Tigers beaten.
All right.
Yep.
LSU. Next, Akron Zips coming into town. Fair to say that's probably we're thinking all three dubs in that one. Although, you can't sleep on those Jim Brandt Akron Zips, no doubt about it. Anybody?
I love kangaroos. I do, but I'm taking South Carolina.
Here should be actually a pretty fun game in the fifth opponent of the season for the South Carolina game. Still at home, and that's the Ole Miss Rebels coming into town. They're still the Rebels, right? They haven't switched to the Land Sharks yet? Or are they actually?
They're still the Rebels.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Are they doing that, or did that get called off, the whole Land Sharks thing?
I mean, that's just like, it's like Auburn. You know what I mean? Like, they've got so many different things. That's more or less
Tiger
pertaining
and
to their
a Creed
defense.
War Eagle.
Yeah, I mean,
and War Eagle's not a
and
noun.
Plainsmen. I mean,
yeah, that's true.
Come on, don't get me started.
I know. Well, we could flip it the other way too and talk about Georgia. Jay,
Yes.
Who you got, Ole Miss or South Carolina?
You know, I'm looking at South Carolina's season last year. They played some really good football and came up short on a few.
Spencer Rattler's not their quarterback.
Okay, so that's something. All right, let's go South Carolina. I mean, no, hold
Ole
on.
Miss?
Ole Miss. Let's go Ole Miss.
I'm not entirely sure who South Carolina's quarterback
I was
is.
trying to think about quarterbacks yesterday in the SEC. I was like, man, there's a lot of new ones and only a few repeats. I've got
Lenore Sellers is going to be the quarterback.
There you go. There you go. With that being said, David Hayes, Ole Miss or South Carolina
Give
in Columbia?
me the Land Sharks. Give me the Rebels. Give me Old
Sharks.
Mississippi.
I'm going to say, although Ole Miss I think is a better team, I'm going to say South Carolina wins this one at home in front of the big home crowd there at Williams-Brice Stadium to steal one from Ole Miss. But these next two, it gets a lot dicey. Going on the road to Tuscaloosa to take on the Alabama Crimson Tide, Bryant-Denny Stadium. What you got, D. Hayes?
Easy money. Give me Alabama.
I got Alabama as well. What about you, Jay Henley?
No chance for South Carolina to beat Alabama.
How many do they win by?
3 touchdowns.
Ooh, so you give me 20 or 21 points, or you give me 18 points?
I gave you 17 and a half.
17 and a half.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to see. We'll see how it goes. I'm sure your early season line's pretty close to that. Then they stay on the road and they go a little bit further west, maybe a little bit further west. And I think it's probably on the same latitude line there. They're traveling to play Oklahoma, the Sooners in Norman. I've got Oklahoma winning that game as well. Jay, who do you got?
They get one of the 3 in this series that we're talking about right here, and I think this is the one they get. So I'll go South Carolina.
All right.
Yeah, a lot of maroon in these games coming up, or that shade of red, rather, right? Give me Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Yeah, I feel like you could have Kanye West after the Akron game. I feel like when it all falls down.
It's a tough run until they get to the Commodores on the road.
Yeah.
But yeah, next they welcome another shade of maroon, garnet, whatever you want to call it, into Williams-Brice Stadium, and that's the Texas A&M Aggies. Jay, it's to you.
I got to go Aggies here. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, give me Wegman and the Ags.
Connor Wegman back again. It feels like he's been playing forever now, too. I'm also going to say that is not a home game that they come out on. And then, of course, they go on the road next week to Nashville to take on, I don't know if it's next week. There could be a bye week in there. Anyway.
Yeah, just the next week.
There you go. To the Vanderbilt Commodores. David, win or loss there for the Cox?
Hey, back on the right side of things, they get a dub there.
There you go. I got them getting the dub as well. Jay Henley, who do you got?
Chickens.
You. All right, 3 dubs there. Then they come back home to take on a very good Missouri Tiger team. Jay, I think you're the one in this one.
Let's go Missouri.
All right.
Hey, give me Cam Keys and that Missouri Tigers defense there.
There you go. I'm going to take Missouri as well. Another home loss for the Carolina Gamecocks. Next, they play the Wofford team. I'm going to assume all 3 of us have wins in that with the FCS Wofford. There you go. And then last but not least, to cap off the season, on the road up there, the home of the Cows, Cade Klubnik leading the Clemson Tigers against the South Carolina Gamecocks in the rivalry game. David, who you got in that one?
Give me Clemson or give me death.
There you go. I'm actually going to take the Gamecocks in this one. I think Clemson just doesn't quite have the season they have. Cade Klubnik's not the guy. They're going to have a good season, but I think they're going to lose to, I think they lost to South Carolina last year, if I'm not mistaken. So back-to-back losses there. Jay Henley, who you got?
I will go Clemson on this.
All right, so you got a loss there. So it looks like you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wins, and that would make it 7 losses. David Hayes has got 1, 2, 3, 4 wins, and that would make it 8 losses. And I've got a little more wins there for the Cox. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Bowl eligible +1.
There you go. I got the Cox 7 and 5. Jay's got them 5 and 7, and then D Hayes has got them down there at 4 and 8. So, well, the bowl eligible +1.
Huh?
You know how many wins you have to be bowl eligible, Jay? Final question of the day.
6.
Very good. Give me a.
6. I only add
Stop.
another 6.
You got it correct.
You said 6 3 times.
Yeah.
Stop it. You're wrong.
Yeah.
Okay?
There it is. We'll end the show with your correct bowl pick'em. We appreciate you guys listening to the Inside Drive. We'll be back tomorrow for your Thursday. We appreciate you tuning in. Afternoon Underdogs coming up at 4 p.m. Y'all have a great rest of your Wednesday and stay dry.
plays here.
Swing and a miss. Struck him out. That's number 10.
The Atlanta Braves on ESPN